So I purchased the Gmade Komodo ready to run, and I put a little bit of it together, the rear bumper, front bumper, roof rack, and the snorkel. Put the light kit in, and I just wanted to do kind of like a review or something to kind of let people know what they were getting. Some of the reviews I've watched, they didn't go too much in depth with the vehicle. But first thing I wanted to point out, if you get this, the decal sheet is not pre-cut. So far I have not found a single one of these that have already been cut out and ready to place on the vehicle. Like these, for the mirrors, I'm going to have to cut them out with scissors or whatever and put them on the mirrors. None of these are pre-cut. It's all one big sheet that you have to cut out yourself and put on the vehicle. As far as the truck goes, I haven't ran it yet. It came in last night. I built put the bumpers on and the roof rack earlier, but I haven't had a chance to run it yet. As far as the tires go, they're pretty knobby. Look like they would do fairly well. The suspension isn't the greatest, but I run Trailfinder 2s a lot, so I'm kind of used to the stiffer suspension. That's why the Trailfinder 2 I'm building currently has a 3-link front, 4-link rear. The electronics of the truck, they look standard. The ESC reminds me a lot of the Axial AE5 in the way the jumpers, it has the plastic jumpers where you can choose drag brake, no drag brake, or LiPo or nickel metal hydride. Chassis rails, if you look at anything, if you've looked these up, you know they're stamped C-channel. They're pretty strong, it seems like. Like I said, I haven't really messed with it or ran anything. I'll pull the body off of it and then I'll get back to you on the video. Alright, here's the ESC, if the camera will focus. You've got drag, yes, no, battery, LiPo, or nickel metal hydride. It says waterproof. We'll see, I guess. Plug. The motor, crawler and truck GM 27, 27 turn. When I got the truck in the box, none of the zip ties were actually still on the truck. They'd all broke loose and the truck was just in there flopping around, and pulled it out. The plastic cover over the Lexan body, it was kind of rough looking. I peeled it off. The body wasn't damaged, so no harm, no foul, I guess. The shocks, the Gmade transition shocks, they seem to do okay. They'll probably be replaced with something like the RC 4-wheel drive Ultimate Scale shocks or the King off-road shocks. It's got an okay amount of flex for stock. Like I said, I'm used to running Trailfinders, so. But as far as crawlability, I don't think it'll have a problem. The way you drive any vehicle is how it's going to perform. You can't hit stuff wide open and expect a crawler to perform like a rock bouncer like the RR10 or something like that. But as far as the value of the kit goes, I would say for $370, it's kind of hard to beat. The suspension could be better. The radio, Fly Sky. It's just typical standard radio, nothing special. Made in China, which the kit's made in Korea. So figured, why not give it a try? Why not check it out? The light kit installs kinda easy. I will suggest though, do not use any kind of CA glue or anything like that putting the light buckets in, because it will turn the paint white. I didn't think about it until it was too late. But the light kit, I've got it all taped up for now, just to keep everything out of the way, taking the body off and on, tuning and doing whatever. But roof rack, kind of a pain to put together. Snorkel. Roof rack's only a pain because the plastic doesn't fit perfectly in there. You kind of have to stretch it out and put a screw in, stretch the other side out and put a screw in. But it comes with the sand ladders and the shovel. The shovel's supposed to set back there on those two hooks, but as you can see, the hooks are kind of bent out a little bit, so the shovel wouldn't really sit. So I stuck it under the O-rings, which is what this is right here. The O-ring keepers or whatever. This is a piece of, or it's made to be like a bungee cord. Comes with these two ends on a tree. You break them off, tie this into it. I tied just standard slip knot. Seems to be holding fine. No issues. Grill, plastic, but it bolts in from the front. The bumper, 4 screws. The grill is held in by that screw and that screw, which also hold your light buckets, which is why I glued them. Don't glue them. Use the double-sided tape. I was lazy. I didn't want to cut it. I should have cut it. Live and learn. All the screws in this kit are Phillips head. Every screw that I have seen has been Phillips head screws. The camera will focus. Camera's being a jerk. But all the screws you can see there on the frame rail. So far, all the screws I have found have been Phillips head. All the screws in the kit to put everything else together that you need to put together, all Phillips head. Even on the front pumpkin. Not a big fan of Phillips head, but I guess a screw is a screw. That's what she said. I guess you could replace them if you wanted to with Allen head. I don't see the point. If I strip one out, if one breaks, if something happens and I lose one, I've got a big old giant bag of whatever extra stuff for that I'm building. That some of it I've got to use, some of it I don't. I can always buy Allen head screws. It's not a big deal. I'm sure there's RC Screws, maybe, I think sells a kit for I believe they sell a kit for this. As far as marketability on parts, I'm not sure what's out there. I've looked on Gmade's website. They've got amount of selection of stuff. I'm hoping that there will be a lot more stuff come out for these. It seems like a pretty neat truck. Seems the frame and everything seems very comparable to the RC 4-wheel drive Trailfinder 2 frame. It's not solid like the Trailfinder 2 frame, but it will be very rigid because it's a stamped C-channel frame. If you're interested in one of these trucks, you know, I guess it'd kind of be a shot in the dark for anybody. It's a shot in the dark for me. I haven't ran it. When I run it, I'll post another review video up. I'll try to get some footage running it. I'm kind of limited around here unless I go on the Blue Ridge Parkway somewhere. I've got some property behind the house I may go up to, but there's not a lot of crawling area up there. It's mainly, logging road and swamp, but I'll see what I can do. And I guess I'll show this, what I've been building. The RC 4-wheel drive Trailfinder 2 chassis with the Blazer body. I haven't got everything complete. I've got 100mm shocks front and rear. I need to take the factory hoops off and put my Galinda 2 hoops back on. And I've got the rears mounted to the side of the frame rail. I'm going to move those back inside. It'll lower the truck down, but I gain a lot more flex out of it. For the value of this truck, it's cool. If it's something that you want, if it's something that no one really has around where you live, it's a pretty neat build. It's fun. I've had several of the square body trucks. I've never had a Blazer, but I've had several square body Chevrolet trucks. The front end's moving. I don't have the pan hard bar in it because it's running longer shocks. I'm having to measure and try to find a pan hard bar, because the factory one, the 60mm pan hard bar, if you run 100mm shocks on these, it actually causes the axle to sit towards the passenger side like that. Not that bad, mind you, but it will push the axle towards the passenger side just a little bit. So if you plan on running longer shocks on these, if you do this, or on the standard Trailfinder kit, prepare to get, I think I've figured it up to be somewhere around a 65 to a 68mm pan hard bar. I'm trying to find an adjustable one. I've found a couple on eBay and a couple other places online, hobby shops. I'm just trying to get one adjustable from, 63 or whatever up to around 70. That way, if I decide to go higher, I've got the adjustability. I'm waiting. RC 4-wheel drive emailed me. I've got some parts on the way. The mounts here and here for the 3-link in the front to hold the rods. That rod there, and yeah, those two were it, I believe. We're actually stripped. One of them, this one wasn't threaded. I kind of forced a screw through it because I didn't have an M3 tap. It started to thread, got about a quarter of the way through, and then stopped. Thought I had it cross threaded, took it out, looked, no threads. This one wasn't drilled all the way on the top of the mount where it goes into the axle. So RC 4-wheel drive sent me one or both of those mounts, and neither one of them were correct. They were correct, but the one on this side hadn't even been drilled at all. It's completely solid. So I'm having to contact them again and try to get that straightened out. But for the Gmade Komodo, I'll run it, see how it performs. Then I guess I'll give a review back. If anybody's interested in it, feel free to send me questions, comment questions, whatever issues or questions you may have. I'll try to make a video if you have specific questions about motor, transmission, suspension, whatever. I'll try to figure it out, get an answer for you, and then comment back or post another video if there's a lot of questions about the kit. But that's all I've got for now. This will be the first video to the channel. I had a couple others uploaded, but I deleted all those and decided to go a different way with the channel. So, but that's the Komodo. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Thank you.